Hello, my name is Nayaswami Mukti, and I'm happy to share with you about Ananda's music. I'd like to start by chanting the chant, I Awake in Thy Light. It's hard for me to separate my experience with the music of Ananda from my experience of the spiritual path as a whole, as both are so intertwined. When I first came to Ananda about 35 years ago, I had done a little spiritual exploration and some experimentation with meditation, but I knew nothing of yoga philosophy or Yogananda. In fact, I was coming to visit my cousin Nitai and had no idea I was coming to a spiritual community. I stayed at the Expanding Light and joined a course called Superconscious Living. In the first few minutes of the first class, we chanted Swami Kriyananda's chant, I Awake in Thy Light, the chant I just played. I had no philosophical training to know what these words really meant, but I was transported to a place of joy I had never experienced before. This experience continuously deepened throughout the 5 days of the program, and when I went home, my friends wondered what happened to me, that I was so changed, so happy. I could not put into words my experience of the vibration of Ananda, but I knew this is what had changed me and I had to know more. I had found my spiritual path. I had found my guru. This divine music, a transmitter of holy vibration, was influencing me from the very beginning. A little background. I grew up with fairly intensive training on the piano. My father had the ambition to have his daughter become a classical concert pianist and directed much energy and time into making this happen. But it was not my ambition, however, and I left the piano studies when I was 15. After that, music was not very much in my life, although I always managed to keep a piano around. I understand now that my musical training was really about readying me to be receptive to Master's vibration in a particular way that was part of God's plan. On my next visit to the Expanding Light, I asked if there was any written music available for the chants we sang. I purchased Cosmic Chants, another chanting booklet of Ananda chants that Savitri had assembled, and someone directed me to Crystal Clarity Warehouse, where I bought a manuscript copy of the Divine Romance Piano Sonata. When I got home, Ananda music became part of my life. I started playing the chants on the piano as I did not have a harmonium. There was no music for the left hand, so I made it up. I would start to play chants after dinner, and often when I finally looked up, it would be past midnight. I would be carried into bliss by the chants. Chanting was more powerful than meditation technique at this stage of my spiritual life. Later, when I moved to Ananda, Sacramento, I used to play these chant arrangements on Sunday mornings during the break between the 9 a.m. meditation and the 10 a.m. service. When I discovered Ananda, I lived in Colorado and was a single mother. I could only get away to Ananda for 5 days once a year. I actually did not hear any of Swamiji's songs or choir music until I came to Spiritual Renewal Week in 1990. What a world opened up then. When I heard these songs, I was lifted to that same bliss state as the chants. It was so inspiring to learn to sing these songs in choir when I moved to Ananda. Singing these songs in choir continues to bring joy, maybe even more so as the years have passed. Back to the Divine Romance. When I received this manuscript, there was no piano recording available to listen to. I tried to play it on my own, but although I could play the notes, I did not get the feeling I received from the chants. After I was living at Ananda Village for a few years, someone shared an old recording of Swamiji playing this sonata. When I heard that, I could hear and feel the uplifted consciousness that was behind the notes, and I started to feel some of it when I played. But my real understanding came when I got to have a piano lesson with Swamiji. He directed me to play this music in ways far beyond his recorded performance, which he said was limited by his ability to play. He wanted the music to be saturated with feeling, using many nuances of tempo, loudness, and phrasing. I experienced a deep blessing during and after this lesson. After this lesson, I understood how to play from a level where I could feel the divine presence flow through my playing. When I play it now, I have his directions in front of me, but I also tune into his consciousness and play from that place. I'd like to share my experience with Swamiji's piece, Love is Ever New Discovery, which is part of the Secrets of Love album. I was working in sales for Crystal Clarity, which publishes Swamiji's books and music, and this album was due to come out. I needed to put out promotional information to our buyers and was given an early copy of the CD. At home, I listened, and when the third track, Love is Ever New Discovery, came on, I was once more transported into bliss, maybe the deepest stillness I had experienced until that time. The vibration of this music can literally take your breath away. A significant portion of that piece is played on keyboard, and I really wanted to be able to play it, but there was no music score available. Eventually, I contacted David Miller, Swamiji's music arranger, and asked if he could make a piano score, which he did. Playing it brings me to a beautiful state of awareness, which I enjoy sharing with others. Playing, singing, and listening to Swamiji's music has profoundly changed me, and I have seen this divine music change others when I have shared it in chanting workshops and performances. This music enters us and lifts us. This music is a carrier wave of divine consciousness, as Swamiji has said many times. It is a gift to all of us who seek to merge with that consciousness. Swamiji said, if you want to know my consciousness, listen to my music. If we want to know what Swamiji attuned to, the music helps take us there. Many blessings to you.